on and travel.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Welcome to the 2020-2021 Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Before we get started, I just want to tell you one thing. In the program, in 2020, the reference C was not Vietnam, it was World War II, or World War I. I proofread it, I made a mistake. I'm sorry for that. I apologize to the family. When we start out with the national anthem, pledge allegiance, the flag will come down on the 7th. After the pledge, then the flag will back up. For the rest of the program, the flag will run forward. I would like to thank John Rostang for being the videographer, the SARS City Schools for the use of the facility, the SARS High School for helping us out here, and all the county bands that showed up. George Ondak for being our master of ceremony. So, you want to hear me, so the program was enjoyed.
Thank you, Chuck. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is George Ondak, and I'm the past president of the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame Foundation. I'm pleased and honored to be here once again as your master of ceremonies for the Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame. Last year, we were forced to cancel our ceremony due to the virus, which makes this year's induction ceremony special, as it combines the class of 2020 and 2021. Now, I would ask that you please silence your cell phones, just because we don't want to hear ringing. And I would also ask that if you're please able to rise and remain standing for the Invocation, National Anthem, and the Pledge of Allegiance. The invocation this evening will be rendered by Pastor Ray LaSalle.
Like to be here this evening and you need to know about this kind of service. And boy, I'm glad you called me tonight. Otherwise, they'd be pulling me out of the nursing home somewhere. We're pleased to be a part of this, and we certainly love our service people who serve and honor this with freedom. Father, we thank you for this special occasion this evening. We ask your blessings upon our gathering. Men and women perhaps will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And we honor them, and we honor the fact that we have a free country, not because we have a church or a school. We have schools and churches because of those who have fought for our freedom. Because the flag flies, we are able to live the kind of lifestyles that we live. Bless honors today, tonight. Your presence we pray in Christ.
Thank you, Pastor Roselle. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. be seated. Thank you, Director Crawford and Crawford County High School Band. Excellent rendition of our national anthem. Along with our inductees, we have several honored guests with us this evening. And first of which I'd like to introduce to you is the Mayor of Crestline, Linda Morning Pitt. Mayor Pitt, welcome.
I thought I was going last, Michael. Well, okay, so this is my first time. Welcome. I'm so proud to be here to represent the village of Crestline, and I love my gift of you gentlemen and ladies over there waving your hands. It's such an honor, and actually it's such an honor to be celebrating this day, because without our veterans, we wouldn't be here celebrating our freedoms. We got to keep on fighting because it's out there. Thank you.
We also have Crawford County Commissioner Doug Weisnau. Doug.
Glad to see so many people here tonight. I can't remember how many years I've been part of this, but it's been an honor every year. It's sad that a lot of our veterans are leaving us, but we'll never forget. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We're also pleased to have with us this evening, representing the 87th Ohio District, State Representative Reardon McLean. Representative.
Thank you. It's great to be with you tonight. This is one of the favorite events of the year for me. It's always great to be here in Bucyrus. So it's very sad last year we didn't get to be together, but we have double fun tonight. It's so great to see so many people here. We have some young children here. It's great. We got a baby here as well. It's the next generation, and the stories for all the veterans, all of the men and women who have served bravely need to be told, need to be continually told. So please continue to share your story. We're so thankful that you've served so sacrificially to all of us. And we've seen how fleeting freedom can be around the world, and even here in America. Over the last year has been very challenging for us. And so we need to, it's a continual fight. We need to make sure that we stand together, to stand for the freedoms that we've been given by generations, the veterans who have served before us, and all of the veterans to come, the people who will serve in the next generation. So it's an honor to be here. We have such a treasure down in Columbus. If you haven't been there, we have the National Veterans Museum in downtown Columbus. Incredible asset that really honors not just the service, but the service man, the service woman behind the uniform. And it really does a good job of telling their story. Just continue. I can't stress that enough. Continue to tell those stories. Let's fight for what we have. It's great to be with you all here tonight. And congratulations to all of you inductees. Yes.
That's another thing we should go.
It is. I walk by that all the time, and it's such a testament. We really do a really good job, and need to continue to do a good job of honoring our veterans and those who are good for us. Good point. Thank you.
I don't believe we have any state commanders of any of the veterans organizations here, do we? But we do have a lot of representatives from veterans organizations. So So with all the representatives from veterans organizations, please stand and be recognized. We have done Thank you for all that you do for your organizations and personnel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for your listening pleasure, our musical selections, which will be presented by the combined Crawford County High School bands under the direction of Carla Neese. Thank you, Director Carla Neese. Give another round of applause. Our guest speaker this evening is the Chief Legal Counsel for the Ohio Department of Veterans Services, Nate Mead. In his position as Chief Legal Counsel, he advises the Director of the Department in all matters impacting veterans across the state, including their access to education, employment, healthcare benefits. He also advises the Ohio Veterans Home, which includes the largest long-term care facility in the state. His other duties consist of acting as counsel for the Ohio Veterans Advisory Committee, the Women Veterans Advisory Committee, and the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame Executive. Prior to his work at the Department of Veterans Services, he was Deputy Chief Legal Counsel and then Acting Chief Legal Counsel for the Ohio Department of Commerce, the state's largest regulatory cabinet agency. Nate is currently a major in the United States Army Reserve, serving with the 412th Civil Affairs Battalion out of Columbus. He was on active duty in the 2010s as a judge advocate for the 11th Army Cavalry Regiment and the 4th Infantry Division. His family has a tradition of service in the armed forces, with the grandfather, who was a decorated Army Air Corps B-24 nose gunner in the European theater in World War II. Nate graduated from Ohio State University and Moritz College of Law and resides outside Dayton, Ohio with his family. Nate, your remarks, please.
Everybody hear me okay? No. How did you guys back there? Can you hear me all right? Yeah. Very good. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ande, for the kind introduction. It's an honor to be here on behalf of the Director of the Department of Veteran Services, Major General Retired Deborah Ashenhurst. She sends her greetings and congratulations to the veterans and the families being honored here tonight by the Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame. I would also like to thank tonight's distinguished guests, Mayor Pitt, Representative McCulloch, and Crawford County Commissioner Doug Weisenhower. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank all of you for coming out. It's a rainy night. It's starting to turn cold in Ohio, so appreciate you coming out and doing this, especially in the midst of COVID. Well, celebrating veterans on this Veterans Day is more important than ever. Ohio has a strong tradition of recognizing its veterans, and that begins in places like this, with ceremonies like this, for men and women like those being honored tonight. When people thank veterans for their service, what is it that they're thanking them for? Is it for the time that they spend away from their families? Absolutely. Is it for giving up an understandable and often comfortable civilian life in exchange for a difficult, unknown, regimented duty? Of course it is. Is it for their willingness to have laid their lives on the line? Definitely. But I also believe it is for something unspoken, almost impossible to define in a brief moment or with a handshake. Is a recognition of the embodiment of an ideal, of citizenship walking itself out to its fullest extent. It is exactly what the Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame is here to celebrate tonight. Citizenship is an interesting thing. Oftentimes it is tied to a particular place, like Ohio or the United States of America. Some define citizenship by race, others by religion. In the United States, we look beyond such measures and embrace ideals. We believe in freedoms, like the freedom of speech and the freedom of religion. We believe in liberty, that each man and woman should define and make for themselves their own future. We believe in helping our brothers and sisters, both literal and figurative. And we believe in good, common decency. We believe in treating each other with respect and holding to an ethic outside of ourselves and in favor of the common good, regardless of where or how that ethic originates. I believe these ideals define the core of American citizenship, and in other words, they are what unite us and define us as people. Where citizenship relates to veterans is that veterans walk it out as far as it can go. They step into the gap between America and its enemies and say, these truths we hold most dear. And then they back it up with their lives. In a democracy where men and women can define their own future, including not serving in the military, doing so embraces citizenship like no other. That is what I believe people just do not know how to say when they thank a veteran. So I would argue that this is what we are here to celebrate tonight. The men and women of the Hall of Fame and and those being inducted into it this evening, they have lived it. So thank you. Some of the inductees gave Lincoln's last full measure of devotion. They died in service far from home. Their families never welcomed them back, but could stand proudly behind their sacrifice for all of us. Thank you to those inductees and their families. Your sacrifice has not and will never be forgotten. Other inductees returned home after their service. They led lives to be admired. Now, it would be safe to assume that their time in the military contributed to how they lived the rest of their lives. Their stories are filled with hard work, integrity, dedication to family, faith, and community. But something tells me, especially as I have come to learn more about them, that those were characteristics that the military and their experiences therein only brought further to the front of their lives. Their stories are posters for citizenship. The inductees who returned home were, and are to this day, mirrors of the American ideal. They kept giving even after their time in uniform ended. And they may not have realized all the ways in which they were giving. Sure, they were successful in business. And yes, they gave their time to veterans and community organizations. But some of their most meaningful gifts were the ones of quiet citizenship. Waking up early to get the job done, taking on the extra task because some things just need to be done right, and giving something extra to a neighbor or a friend who's fallen on hard times. It is those things that make veterans who they are and let them do the things that bring them to this Hall of Fame tonight. So with all of that said, thank you for letting me be a part of this event. As someone in the military himself, and the grandson of a soldier who flew as a nose gunner and a liberator in World War II, being here tonight means a lot. This community means a lot. These veterans mean a lot. Thank you, inductees, for your service. Thank you for sacrificing for us and leading lives that look outward to your neighbors and to the community. You are the best of us. You are what makes us great and an unstoppable force for good in this world. I would like to conclude with a quote from Ronald Reagan, because I believe it applies to tonight's inductees. We remember those who are called upon to give all a person can give, and we remember those who are prepared to make that sacrifice if it were demanded of them in the line of duty, though it never was. Most of all, we remember the devotion and gallantry with which all of them ennobled their nation as they became champions of a noble cause. Thank you all very much, and congratulations, inductees.
Thank you, Nate. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have a presentation of service flags and the military measure. I would ask our veterans in the audience, please rise when you hear your service organization's hymn. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, your recognition, please, for the band and our flag bearers. I have a quick announcement. At the end of the program, all veterans come down and receive a bicentennial pin celebrating Cyrus, Ohio bicentennial. See Chuck Kristof and you can get your pin. And just another announcement, this is the 15th anniversary of the Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame. I know I don't look much older than 15, but now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, the induction of the class of 2020 and 2021. To assist in presenting the medallions and certificates, I would ask that Chuck Kristof, Mayor of Crestline, and Representative Rich, Commissioner Doug, thank you. Our first inductee to the class of 2020 is Ralph Allen Gerhardt. Ralph was born February 1, 1948 in Crestline, Ohio, son of Edward Hampton and Ida Louise Painter Gerhardt. He has two sisters, Peggy and Mary Lou. Ralph graduated from Crestline High School in 1966 and enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in October of 1967. His basic training was at Paris Island, and then he left for Vietnam in April of 1968 in California. He was assigned to Company I, 3rd Battalion, 3rd Marine, 3rd Marine Division on May 26, 1968. He was killed by sniper fire while on a search and destroy operation. He received the Vietnam Service Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal, Purple Heart, Bronze Star Medal with Combat B. His citation read, for an heroic achievement in connection with operations against the enemy in the Republic of Vietnam while serving with Company I, 3rd Battalion, 3rd Marines. 26 May 1968, while conducting a search and destroy operation, Company I suddenly came upon intense automatic weapons and small arms fire from a large, well-concealed North Vietnamese Army force. During the ensuing firefight, the lead element was pinned down and sustained numerous casualties. Alertly observing a wounded Marine lying in an area dangerously exposed to the enemy fire, PFC Gerhardt unhesitatingly left his cover position and commenced moving towards his injured comrade. Disregarding his own safety, he fearlessly maneuvered across 35 meters of fire-swept terrain to the side of the wounded Marine. Ignoring the hostile rounds impacting near him, he calmly removed the injured man's equipment, and while moving the casualty out of the hazardous area, Private First Class Gerhardt was mortally wounded. His heroic actions and sincere concern for the welfare of his comrades inspired all who observed and were instrumental in saving the life of fellow Marines. PFC Gerhardt's courage, bold initiative, and selfless devotion to duty were in keeping with the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Services. He gallantly gave his life in service to his country. The Combat B was authorized. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Ralph Allen Gerhardt to the Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame, class of 2020. On behalf of Ralph is his sister, Peggy. Peggy, your remarks.
I went to all the trouble, can you hear me? To write something for tonight, and he had it all written up in the book. Hall of Fame. And I really thank you for thinking of us and all that goes on in this school.
Thank you. Our next inductee is Michael Wayne Jacobs. Michael was born November 14, 1945 in Delaware, Ohio. He graduated from Colonel Crawford High School in 1963. Michael graduated from Davis Business College and completed several management courses at the University of Hawaii. Michael also completed 2 years of study at Ohio State University. Later in life, Michael completed a 2-year machine repair training program at Timken Company in Bucyrus, Ohio. His military training began with basic training in Fort Dix, New Jersey in July of 1966. Michael then completed an 18-week training program as communications monitor in October of 1966 at Fort Devens, Massachusetts. Michael joined the Army Security Agency around this time. In July, he was sent to Vietnam under the 509th Radio Research Unit. He then went to Canto with the 4th Platoon 101st Radio Research Company as an analyst. In July of 1968, he was sent to Fort Devens, Massachusetts again, where he would complete the instructor training program. He would go on to teach at Fort Devens for 9 months, where he was then sent to communications analyst. After completing training, he was sent to the 602nd Army Security Agency unit positioned in Hawaii. He had a top security crypto clearance. He was selected to be part of the Army Operation High Heels, which was a simulated nuclear attack on the United States, where he spent 2 weeks inside a mountain bunker. Michael was honorably discharged from the Army in July 1970. He received the National Defense Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, and the Good Conduct Medal. Michael worked for Reese Optical in Mansfield, Ohio, the Timken Company in Bucyrus for 35 years. He served Bucyrus City Council for 14 years and served 1.5 years as mayor of Bucyrus. Michael has been a member of the American Legion over 50 years, AMPEX 4 years, Disabled American Veterans over 4 years, and over 25 years in the Moose. He has been active in PTA, Boosters Club, Touchdown Club, Bucyrus City Schools, Bucyrus JCs, Bucyrus Little League, Coach and Board of Directors, Red Cross, Crawford County Parks Board of Directors. Michael was recognized for the Bucyrus JC Distinguished Service Award and Lifetime Member of Bucyrus JCs. He received special recognition from the United States Congress as the Mayor of Bucyrus and Democrat of the Year Award from the Ohio Democratic Party. He's been married for 50 years and lives in Bucyrus, Ohio. Michael, your remarks, please.
Never let an ex-politician get near a microphone. I would just like to say thanks. During my era, it wasn't the smartest thing to join the military. You know, they were burning flag and everything, but in Bucyrus, they taught us we had to do it. And that was it. And I was proud to be able to come back and give back something that I've taken. Thank you.
Michael, that was pretty short for an ex-politician.
That's why it's X.
Probably because you're only mayor for years and years. Our next inductee is Dwight Eugene Leonard. Dwight was born in Bucyrus, Ohio, December 11, 1947, to late Ernest and Lois Leonard. graduated from Colonel Crawford High School in 1967, where he was involved in swimming and bowling teams. Dwight was drafted into the Army on January 11, 1968. He completed basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and his AIT at Fort Lee, Virginia. He was sent to Vietnam and assigned to E Company, 1st Battalion, 7th Cavalry, 1968 to 1969. He received an early release at Valley Forge General Hospital on October 16, 1969, following an injury while serving in Vietnam. His awards were the National Defense Service Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal with device, Purple Heart, Marksman with rifle bar, Sharpshooter with rifle bar. After his service, he married in 1970 and had 3 children, Sean, Leslie, and Travis. In 1990, Dwight remarried and gained 2 stepchildren, Rich and Karen. He's a proud grandfather of 11 grandchildren and 5 great-grandchildren. He worked for Standard Oil Company while in high school, and for General Electric Company for 33 years, where he was union steward for IUU Local 704 and union president for Local 704. Dwight was involved in starting the baseball league in Sulphur Springs School and coached his children's team. He was a member of the GE bowling team for many years and is active in golf and playing cards. Dwight is a life member of VFW Post 1078, being a trustee for over 20 years. A life member of Anthem Post 27, life member of DAV Chapter 100, Moose Lodge 669, Crawford County Veteran Hall of Fame, and a member of the Bucyrus Veterans Honor Guard, and he's put flags on veterans' graves for the Bucyrus Memorial Society. Dwight lives in Bucyrus with his wife, Carol. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dwight to the Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame.
I'd like to thank the Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame for all they do. I'd like to thank my family and friends and everyone who came out tonight. And I'd like to congratulate all the other inductees. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next inductee is Donald J Shearer. Donald was born January 14, 1948 to Donald E. Shearer and Velma Shearer in Bucyrus, Ohio. He attended Bucyrus City Schools and graduated from Bucyrus High School in 1966. He played football, basketball, and ran track for Bucyrus, and was a member of the 1963 NOL Championship football team. He attended Ohio State University in Mansfield in the fall of 1966. While working at GE, he was drafted into the United States Army January 4, 1968. He had basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, airborne AIT at Fort Gordon, Georgia, and jump school at Fort Benning, Georgia, where he was second-generation airborne. In August 1968, he was sent to Vietnam and assigned to the 23rd American Division. He joined the elite E Company, 51st Infantry, which did long-range reconnaissance. He spent 3 weeks training with the elite 5th Special Forces Recon School, and another 3 weeks in field training on medical, special weapons, and map reading. On January 1, 1969, the unit was redesignated G Company 75th Airborne Rangers. On March 24, 1969, while on a recon mission, he was wounded stepping on a landmine. His parents received a telegram, which read, "We regret to inform you your son has been wounded in Vietnam. He's not seriously injured, and was wounded in both legs, his buttocks, back, both arms, and head. We repeat, he is not seriously injured." I don't know what seriously is. Donald was hospitalized 2 weeks in Vietnam, 3 weeks in Japan, and sent stateside to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, where he spent a year and a half before being honorably discharged in July of 1970. His awards for the National Defense Veterans Combat Infantry Badge, Parachute Wings, Vietnam Service Medal with Bronze Stars, Meritorious Unit Commendation with Oakley, Army Commendation Medal, Republic of Vietnam Gallantry Cross with Palm, Unit Citation Badge, and the Good Conduct Medal with Purple Heart. After being discharged, he went back to work at GE and retired in January 2003 with over 36 years of service. On March 10, 1972, he married Nancy Crawford. He has 2 stepchildren, J Shearer and Tammy Doyle, 5 grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren. Sadly, Nancy passed away in 2019. Donna belonged to Cub Scout Pack 40, Boy Scout Troop 40, was an Eagle Scout, earned 1 palm, and received God and Country Awards. Summer camp counselor at Camp Owens, and belonged to the Order of the Air. He started the first Air Explorer post locally, which still exists today, and coached and umpired Little League with his father. Don belongs to the American Legion, VFW, DAV, Chapter 100, Adjutant Treasurer. He was 4 years as District Commander, State Executive Committee 3 years, First and Second Junior Vice Commander, and Sergeant at Arms, Secretary Treasurer, Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame, and the Bucyrus Memorial Society. He's a driving force in the monument being built at the Crawford County Courthouse. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Donald J. Shearer to the Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame.
Chucky told me to keep it underneath a half an hour. So, see what I can do for you. First of all, I'd like all the members of the Hall of Fame that put this on for the last 14 years to please stand up and be honored. Come on, guys, stand up. Right? Chance in the last 10 years. We're on 14 years, so we're doing good. We're working on our monument up at the courthouse. We just put in a BOWMIA section. And during this, we found that there was a Colonel Paul Robertson from Galleon that was BOW during Vietnam, which I never knew. And he was Air Force, flew over 300 missions over Vietnam, North Vietnam, and South Vietnam. Shot down in '72. Spent 2 years in the Hanoi Hilton prison camp in Hanoi. And I have a card and some paper there if you want to sign. Just say thank you. We found him in Colorado, Monument, Colorado. The first I was told he was a banker in Nevada. So I went to Nevada. He never heard of him. Girl called me back that afternoon. She got on her computer and she found him. She said, "You're just a little off. He's the vice president of the Wells Fargo Bank in Las Vegas, Nevada." So we found him and he was thrilled to see what we've done. We're sending him pictures, and like I said, if you'd sign that. And thank all of you for showing up. Thank all of you for helping us with our monument. It has been a real success, and without you, we couldn't do anything. So thank all of you.
Thank you, Don. Our next inductee is Ralph Emerson Schreck, C.P. Ralph was born February 7, 1894 in Gallion, Ohio. He was the 13th child of John Andrew and Martha Jane Shoemaker Schreck. He played basketball with Gallion Vintex 1917 team. He married Belle Irene Pace on November 28, 1917, and they were married for over 59 years before Ralph passed away February 23, 1977. Ralph and Belle had 2 children, Alice and Ralph. They have 5 grandchildren. On May 28, 1918, Ralph and 28 other men left Bucyrus to go to Columbus for inspections and assembling other men from Ohio. After several days, they headed by train to camp in Jackson, South Carolina. On July 10, 1918, they boarded the ship to Brest, France, arriving in France on July 21, 1918. They were with a company that used trucks to deliver ammunition to the front lines. They had to load and maintain the trucks and drive them to the front. On May 5, 1919, they boarded the ship back to the United States. They were on discharge May 27, 1919. After discharge, he went back working at the trucking business with his father and brothers, where he worked before the service in 1937. He became a deputy sheriff in Crawford County. In 1944, he ran for sheriff in Crawford County and won the election. He decided to run for county commissioner in 1952 and won. He was reelected in 1956, retiring in 1960. Ralph was active in the Ohio Democratic State Sheriff Association. He was a life member. Ralph was a charter member of Galleon American Legion Post 243, member of the Elks, Booth, Carlson Cup, Barracks of 1,077 veterans of World War I of the United States. He was also active with Crawford County American Cancer Society, started Little League in Bucyrus, and supported his grandchildren in their activities. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Ralph Emerson Schreck Sr. to the Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame, Class 2020. Accepting on behalf of Ralph, his aunt, his granddaughter, and Mike, his grandson.
Thank you very much. I know that my grandfather would be very proud to be able to be recognized by his fellow members of the services and stuff here in Crawford County. And he would be proud because he taught us to love America, and he served, and we're very proud of him.
Thank you. Our final inductee for the class of 2020 is Michael Allen Taylor. Michael was born in Bucyrus, Ohio, July 1, 1947, to Renina and Ernest Taylor, and attended Bucyrus High School and left in 1966 to enlist in the United States Marine Corps. He underwent jungle survival training at Camp Pendleton, California, and deployed to Vietnam. He was a machine gunner with 1st Battalion, 7th Marines. Corporal Trainer was transferred to Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, assigned to 2nd Battalion, 2nd Marines, and he went on for a Mediterranean cruise for 6 months, making beach landing trainings in various countries. His schooling in the Marines was MCI, Marine NCO, Ammo Technician CRS, Regimental NCO School. He received the Purple Heart, National Defense Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal, Vietnam Service Medal with 2 stars, Good Conduct Medal, and Rifle Sharpshooter Badge. He was honorably discharged February 20, 1969 from the United States Marine Corps. Michael earned his GED on May 8, 1986, and later was recognized with a diploma from Bucyrus High School. Michael worked with the Trainer Brothers before being employed at the Timpton Company in Bucyrus. He was also a part-time police officer with the Washington, Ohio Police Department from 1972 to 73. After retirement, he worked various part-time jobs. Michael's a life member of the DFW Post 1078 and has been commander, senior vice, junior vice, for a few years, and was All-State Post Commander from 2006-2007. He's a life member of Adventist Post 27, life member of DAV Chapter 100, member of the American Legion Post 405 in Washington, member of the NRA, and he traveled as a guest on the 2016 Columbus Honor Flight All-Vietnam Veteran Purple Heart Training. He's a member of Moose Lodge 669 Bucyrus, supports St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and is a member of St. Bernard's Catholic Church in Washington, Ohio, and volunteers during church festivals each August. Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame is honored to induct Michael Allen Taylor to the class of 2020. see all the good work the committee does, all the years they've been doing it. I like to family, for all their support. We now move into the class of 2021. Our first inductee in the class of 2021 is Ronald Wayne Burkhart. Ronald Wayne Burkhart was born in Crawford County, June 27, 1948, to Floyd and Doris Betty Gibson Burkhart. He attended Crawford County School and graduated from Colonel Crawford High School, summa cum laude, valedictorian. In 1966, he received his associate degree in agriculture music from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. In 1967, Ronald attended U.S. Army basic training at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. He completed AIT at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. He was awarded the Basic Training Service Ribbon and Expert Marksmanship Badge for the M1 F-16A1 rifle. In 1969, Corporal Burkhart was awarded Outstanding Soldier of Battery D, 1st Battalion, 136th Field Artillery Regiment. In 1972, Staff Sergeant Burkhart was selected Artillery Man of the Year for the 1st Battalion, 136th Field Artillery Regiment. Staff Sergeant Burkhart was a unit recruiter for 2 years. In 1983, Rod, along with his father and brother, began the Burkhart Farm Center, Incorporated, as an international harvester dealership, where Ron served as vice president. After the death of his father in 2012, Ron and his brother Charles shared the title of president and shared the general manager duties. Ron served as manager of Burkhart Farms LLC, which now produces on landmass of over 6,000 acres, and turned that duty over to his son Chris, but he still sold all the week. Ron serves as advisor to technical school and advisor to industrial ag department of Colonel Crawford Schools since 2010. Ron's a member of the 37th Division Veterans Association and the Untitled Chapter of the 37th Division Association in Bucyrus. He's a member of the Gideons International. He served as a mentor and point of contact with Pioneer and Colonel Crawford High School. He serves on the Finance Committee and sings in the Bucyrus Methodist Church Choir and the group United in Harmony. Ron is married to the former Marcia Hoover, and they have 3 children, Doug, Chris, and Sarah McCready. They have 7 grandchildren. Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame is honored to induct Ronald Wayne Burkhart into the class of 2021.
I just want to say that I am extremely honored and very humbled to be inducted into the Crawford County Veterans Association Hall of Fame. Honored and humbled to be in the midst of so many great veterans of Crawford County. Proud to be a part of it.
Our next inductee, Dennis G Kristof. He was born April 28, 1950, to Lake George and Florence Kristof. He was born at the Bucyrus Community Hospital. He had 2 brothers, Michael, who's deceased, and Charles. I call him Chuck. Dennis attended Norton Elementary School, Bucyrus Junior High, and graduated from Bucyrus High School with the class of 1968. During high school, he worked at the Great Scott Store. He worked at General Electric Bucyrus Lamp Plant and General Electric Bucyrus Glass Plant. He was inducted into the U.S. Army on September 16, 1969 in Columbus, Ohio. Basic training and AIT was at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, with an infantry and MOS assignment to Korea. He served with Company C, 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry, 2nd Infantry Division for 13 months and 26 days. While in Korea, he served as a radio telephone operator at the DMZ for 4 months. And while on guard duty, the temperature at times was 30 below 0 degrees with the wind chill factor. Then he went to Garrison for 4 months as a forward observer with the mortar crew, and he then rotated back to the DMZ. Dennis was discharged at Fort Lewis, Washington, and received an honorable discharge April 19, 1971. He was a Sergeant E5 and received a Good Conduct Medal, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, and Expert M16 badge. Once home, he returned to his job at GE Glass Plant until it was closed in 1986. He then worked at Pillsbury General Mills in Marlow, Ohio, until he retired in 2012. Dennis married Christy L. Reinhardt on July 21, 1973. Sadly, she passed away in February of 2019. He has a daughter, Deidre, married to Jonathan Miley, and a grandson, Charlie Miley. He's a life member of American Legion Post 181 and a life member of Anthem Post 27, both of Bucyrus. He served as commander of Post 181 for 3 years and was the first consecutive year commander. He was a trustee at Anthem Post 27, grade director for the Memorial Day for many years. He was an officer in Bucyrus Memorial Society in charge of flags at Oakland State. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dennis George Crispin for Crawford County.
I'd just like to thank the committee for the selection, my family, and congratulations to all the inductees, and to you, the community, for your support of the veterans. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next inductee is Captain Augustus John Mcculloch. Augustus Mcculloch was born July 12, 1950, son of Mr. and Mrs. A.I. Cullen in Columbia City, Indiana. He attended Bucyrus High School, where he was a leader in student activities, honor student, and recipient of the American Legion Merit Award given to the outstanding senior in Bucyrus High School each year. Augustus was also a member of the Bucyrus unit of the Ohio National Guard during 3 years of his high school career, graduating with the class in 1935. Augustus attended the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor, Michigan during the year 1935-36, and in 1936 he received an appointment to the United States Military Academy by the late Honorable Brooks Fletcher, Congressman of the 8th Ohio District. He entered the United States Military Academy at West Point, New York, in July 1936. During his years at the Academy, he held the rank of corporal in the 2nd and 3rd year and was company captain in his 4th year. He was active in the traditional 100th Night Show and cadet orchestra during all 4 years. Upon his graduation from West Point with the commission of 2nd Lieutenant, he entered the service of his country on June 11, 1940. On July 12, 1940, he married Evelyn Phillips, his high school sweetheart, at the West Point Catholic Chapel. After his marriage, he and Evelyn spent the summer with their parents in the city of Bucyrus, Ohio. And in September 1940, he and Evelyn sailed to the Philippine Islands for his first assignment overseas. Mrs. Collins was sent back home to the States on government orders in May of 1941. Augustus was captured by the Japanese on May 6, 1942, on Corregidor. He was confined as a prisoner of war, and in December 1944, he and other fellow prisoners were taken aboard a ship by the Japanese to be moved to Japan. The first ship on which they sailed was sunk off the Philippines, and survivors were taken back to the Philippines. They were placed on a second ship, which was torpedoed off Formosa. He and the survivors were placed on another ship and taken to Japan. Due to his exposure during the trip, he contracted pneumonia and died on February 9, 1945. Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame is honored to induct Captain Augustus John Cullen into the class of 2021.
J Shearer, the proud niece of Captain Augustus John Mcculloch, and I gladly accept his place in the Crawford County Hall of Fame. I've been planning to do this for several years, and with the help of Mary Fox and Mrs. Yelsey, we were able to get it done this year. He chose me to be his flower girl in his wedding to his classmate, Evelyn Phillips, the prettiest girl in his class. The wedding at West Point, and I was at age 3, was my first remembered memory. Grandpa and Grandma Cullen had 5 children, 4 boys and 1 daughter, my mother, Kathleen Cullen's family. Of the boys, 3 of her boys were serving in World War II at the same time. And I remember that well, even though I was quite young. As Grandma lost a son, Grandma Cullen was known as the Gold Star Mother. She had a flag in the window with a gold star on it. I want to thank everyone connected with this wonderful organization. And I wish you many more years of success. And I wish Columbus television station was here to witness all of the feelings that Bucyrus has, love of their country, and love of democracy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next inductee, Kenneth Raymond Henshaw. Kenneth R. Dot Henshaw. Born April 15, 1918 in Bucyrus, to Dice M. and Lulu Hart Henshaw. Older brother Walter E., sister Wilma, Martha, and Marilyn Public of Houston. He attended Bucyrus City Schools. Kenneth was a volunteer and member of the Ohio National Guard. His unit was sent to Camp Shelby, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, in October of 1940. He served with the medical detachment of 37th Division, 135th FA, Battalion 43, and received his honorable discharge August 10, 1945, at Camp Atterbury, Indiana. He was awarded the Asiatic Pacific Theater Ribbon with 2 bronze stars, American Defense Service Medal, Philippine Liberation Ribbon with 1 bronze star, Good Conduct Ribbon, Purple Heart, and Bronze Star Medal. Following his discharge, Kenneth graduated from Andrews Barber College in Toledo, Ohio. He owned and operated his own barbershop in Gallion for 35 years. He married Donna M. Hollenberg, March 21, 1948, in Good Hope Lutheran Church in Bucyrus. He was a member of Good Hope Lutheran Church, where he served as an usher for many years. Their children, Ronald L. and Beth Zucker, and granddaughter Danielle Speaker. He was a 50-year member of DAV. Chapter 100, life member of 37th Division Barracks, Gallion American Legion, Bucyrus Masonic Lodge 139, and active volunteer with the Council on Aging. He was also in charge of the cemetery detail to decorate veterans' graves at Oakwood Cemetery for many years. His hobbies were hunting, fishing, and dogs. Sadly, Kenneth passed away at his home in Bucyrus January 27, 1996. Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame is honored to induct Kenneth R. Dot Henshaw into the class of 2021.
Thank you so much for choosing our father, and congratulations to all the other inductees.
Thank you. Our next inductee, Ralph Emerson Schreck Jr. Ralph Emerson Schreck Jr. was born the second child of Ralph Schreck Sr. and Belle Irene Pace in Gallion, Ohio, on July 18, 1921. Ralph attended Gallion City Schools through the 9th grade. He then attended Cyrus City Schools because his father was elected sheriff of Crawford County and was required to live in the living quarters of the county jail. He played the center position for the Bucyrus High School outstanding football team of 1937-38. He excelled in track and set many school records. After graduating Bucyrus High School in 1939, Ralph worked for Heckert's Grocery, Swan Rubber, and then Galleon Ironworks as a drill press operator. On September 2nd, 1942, he enlisted in the Army Air Corps. He was first sent to Fort Benjamin Harris, Indiana, then to New Mexico, then to Homestead, Florida Air Base, where he became a tower operator. He applied and was accepted in the cadet program and was sent to Michigan State College, where he was taught advanced mathematics and the sciences of aviation and navigation. Ralph's training took him to Vernon, Texas, Enid, Oklahoma, Altus, Oklahoma, and B-24 first pilot training in Liberal, Kansas. After training, before being shipped overseas, he and the crew were transferred to B-29 school at Waukon, Mexico. Upon completion of that training, they were ready to be shipped out when the war ended. Ralph remained in the service and was assigned to Air Technical Service Command. He was a tower operator in Monroe, Louisiana. Ralph was honorably discharged with the rank of second lieutenant on November 25, 1946. He continued his service in the Air Force Reserve at Mansfield Lamb Airport. On September 9, 1944, Ralph married Bernice Walker in the base chapel in Enid, Oklahoma. They have 4 children. Michael is married to Carol Chester and lives in Gold, Bucyrus. Pam is married to Harold McDaniels, and they live in Glenmore. Tom married to Candy Keese, and they live in Gold, Bucyrus. Daryl married to Michael Murray, and they live in Hicksville. At the time of his death, on April 1, 1998, Ralph had 11 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame is proud to induct Ralph Emerson Schreck into the class of 2020.
My father loved God, loved his family, loved his country, loved flying, and he'd be very proud and honored and humbled to accept this award. Thank you very much.
Our final inductee for the class of 2021 is Richard Kristof. Richard was born to Albert and Ruth Stearns on April 23, 1936 in Bloomdale, Ohio. He's the eldest of 7 siblings. Growing up on a farm, he learned all aspects of farming. Upon graduation from Jackson Liberty High School in 1954, Richard investigated attending college, but funds were not available. He worked numerous jobs with little financial problems. Joined the Air Force as a GI Bill was a path to a college education. During basic training, tests were given to recruits, which helped determine their career field. Richard chose photography, but before he started, he was told photography was closed, and that he had been checked by the FBI and passed his security clearance. He would begin tech school that would take a year to complete. After training in tech school, he graduated as a military intelligence analyst and had a top secret crypto security clearance. The next 18 months were on overseas assignments. While at Clark Air Base in the Philippines, he was named Airman of the Month. When traveling, he carried a radiation detector. Before returning to the States, Richard had been to 15 different countries on 3 continents. The last 18 months of his enlistment was spent at NSA headquarters at Fort Meade, Maryland. Upon discharge from the United States Air Force in 1963, he enrolled at Bowling Green State University in Business Administration, Business Law. He switched to elementary education and received his BS degree from BP in 1967. He served as president of Durlow Corporation from 1967 to 1989. He taught from 1968 to 1994. During that time, he also earned his Master of Arts degree from the University of Cincinnati. Richard has served ORTA in several positions and served on many committees. Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame is honored to induct Richard E. Stearns into the class of 2021.
Well, it's been a long journey. I really feel honored to be with this group of people here tonight that are being honored. It's a great group. We're a fine group of veterans. I know this is Crawford County, but I'm really not a Crawford County native. I moved here in 1966, and then I called Crawford County my home since. While I was here, I spent my career in teaching, and I taught in the Winford and Colonel Crawford school districts. And I made a lot of friends there, and I feel honored to be able to do that. Thank you.
You may have noticed Crawford County Commissioner Larry Schmidt joined us. Welcome aboard. I now ask that if you are able, please rise for our Piper, the Rifle Squad, and staff as we pay tribute to all our fallen veterans. Especially our 14 service members who were killed in Afghanistan. Before benediction, I would once again like to thank the combined Crawford County High School Band for the outstanding musical selections played for us this evening. also like to thank our piper, Greg Shipley, and the rifle squad from Bucyrus American Legion 181, and our buglers. A special thanks to Chuck Chrisman and the board members of the Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame for all the hard work they put into planning and making this event a reality. I'd like to especially thank our audience for being here today. Honor these outstanding veterans who have been inducted into the Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame. Please give yourself a round of applause. Without your attendance, this event would not be as meaningful as it is. Without further ado, Pastor Ray LaSalle, please come forward for the benediction.
Father, we thank you for that incredible evening. Never dreamed there was so much talent in our high school, beautiful music from the band. I think we've got a great future here in Crawford County. We thank the Lord for these who are our heroes. Maybe the news media hasn't figured it out. Maybe a liberal political world hasn't figured it out either. We thank you for the flag that flies. We honor that flag. We honor the freedom that we enjoy. And we thank you for these who have fought for our country. World War I, World War II, the Korean, Vietnam, and the other skirmishes. And we're trying to acquire any land, just enough land to bury our dead. But we continue with freedom. And Lord, bless, we pray, these who had the vision to honor our soldiers and our service people who have served. And we're so proud of what the vision has been here in Crawford. Blessings upon us this evening as we return to our homes, and give us a great future here in America. We pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor LaSalle. This concludes our program this evening. Thank you for your attendance, and please, wherever you're trying to take, don't forget your candy.
It started getting crappy out, possible rain or snow, yeah. It's 75 like that. It's going to happen sooner or later. Well, last year it snowed at Halloween. So I'll put that in my garage, and you can thank me when it doesn't snow.